Hello friends, welcome to Bareilly Tuitions. Today we are going to study about latitude and longitudes. This is the topic of class 5th. So let's begin the topic. What is latitude and longitude? We already know that globe is a miniature model of Earth. It gives us an idea about the shape of the Earth. The shape of the Earth is not spherical. It is flattened at the poles and bulges at centers. The axis of the Earth on which it rotates has two endpoints. The upper end is called North Pole and the lower end is called the South Pole. You also know that a map is a drawing of the whole or part of the Earth's surface on a flat sheet or paper. There are different types of map. Each type of map shows a specific type of detail. Any map can be understood with the help of color codes, direction symbols, scales of the map, and key or legends. You must have noticed some vertical and horizontal lines drawn on globes and maps. In this chapter, we will read about these lines, the imaginary lines. These imaginary lines are called latitude and longitude. Some imaginary lines have been drawn on the surface of the Earth which form an intersecting grid, a pattern of straight lines crossing each other to form many squares. There are two kinds of lines, latitude and longitude. The longitudes and latitudes are marked in degrees. With the help of these lines, we can locate place on the globe. These lines also help in calculating the time at any place on Earth. Let us read about these imaginary lines. First is latitudes. So, latitudes. The imaginary horizontal lines are known as latitude. They are drawn from east to west. All latitudes are parallel lines. Therefore, they are also known as parallels of latitude. The latitude which divides the Earth into two equal halves is known as equator. It is the largest latitude and is therefore called the Great Circle. Each half is called hemisphere. Hemis means half. The part above the equator is called northern hemisphere and the part below the equator is called southern hemisphere. Here in this diagram you see this red color line shows the equator and the upper part is called northern hemisphere and lower part of this red color line is called southern hemisphere. And these parallel lines shows the latitudes. The latitude in the northern hemisphere are called north latitude. They are written with the letter N denoting north. All the latitudes in the southern hemisphere are called south latitudes and are written with the letter S denoting south. The North Pole is the 90° north latitude and the South Pole is the 90° south latitude. Latitudes help us to locate the north-south position of any place on the globe. The size of the latitudes decreases as we move away from the equator towards the pole. The north and south poles are latitudes which are not circles but points. This is because as the circles decreases in size, they ends as dots. There are a total 181 latitudes, 90 in the northern and 90 in the southern hemisphere, and the 0-degree equator. Here, some important lines or some important lines of latitudes are: first is 0-degree equator. In this diagram, you see equator 0-degree. Second is Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north. This is Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north. Third is Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 south. The Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degree south. Fourth is Arctic Circle, 66.5 degree north. Arctic Circle, 66.5 degree north. And last is Antarctic Circle. This is 66.5 degree south, Antarctic Circle. And North Pole and South Pole, 90 degree north, and South Pole is 90 degree south. Now we will discuss about longitudes. The imaginary vertical lines are known as longitudes. They are also called meridians of longitude. In this diagram, vertical lines shows longitudes. This red color line shows the prime meridian. The longitudes are drawn from North Pole to South Pole and from semicircles and form semicircles. All the longitudes meet at the poles. Longitudes help us to measure distance in the east-west direction. The 0-degree meridian is also known as the prime meridian. It is from this meridian that the other meridians are continued, since it passes through the British Royal Observatory in Greenwich, in London. Greenwich meridian, pronounced Greenwich. The prime meridian divides the Earth into two halves, the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. From 0-degree prime meridian, when we move eastward up to 180-degree longitude, this forms the eastern hemisphere. In this half, the value of the longitude will be followed by the letter E for east. Similarly, from 0-degree prime meridian, when we move westward up to the 180-degree longitude, this forms the western hemisphere. In this half, the value of the longitude will be followed by the letter W for west. The 180° east and 180° west meridians fall on the same longitude. Longitudes are not parallel. Each longitude crosses the equator and meets at the pole. There are 360 meridians of longitude, 180 in all in the eastern hemisphere and 180 in the western hemisphere. The maximum distance between any two longitudes is at the distance equator. Between two longitudes decreases as we move towards the pole. Locating places and calculating time. The longitudes and latitudes intersect each other, forming a network of lines which is called grid. The point of intersection help us to locate any place. The index given at the end of an atlas gives the location of places in relation to their latitude and longitude. With the help of longitudes, we can calculate the time of any place. The Earth rotates 360 degrees in approximately 24 hours. Therefore, the Earth has been divided into 24 time zones. That is 360 degree divided by 24 is equal to 15 degree. Each zone of 1 hour thus covers 15 degree of longitude. In other words, the time differences between 15 degree of longitude is 1 hour. 15 degree into 4 minutes is equal to 60 minutes or 1 hour. Always remember, it takes 4 minutes for the Earth to move from one longitude to the next. When we move east of the 180-degree international date line, we gain time. When we move west of the 180-degree meridian, we lose time. So for every 1 degree of longitude, we add or subtract the time accordingly. The international date line is not straight but zigzag. If this longitude was straight and it cut across a small island, there would be a difference of a day or date between two halves of the same island. Now, this time to recall the chapter Latitudes and Longitudes. Latitudes are imaginary horizontal lines which are drawn from east to west. There are 181 latitudes in all, 90 in each hemisphere and the equator. Latitudes help us to locate the north-south position of any place on the globe. Equator, the largest latitude, divides the Earth into northern and southern hemisphere. The other important latitudes are Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle. Longitudes are imaginary vertical lines which are drawn from north to south pole. Longitudes help in the east-west location of any place. The two important longitudes are 0 degree Greenwich meridian and 180-degree meridian. There are 360 longitudes, 180 in eastern and 180 in western hemisphere. All longitudes are of the same length and meet at the poles. Earth takes 4 minutes to move from one longitude to the next. The maximum distance between any two longitudes is at the equator, and distance between two longitudes decreases at decreases as we move towards the poles. With the help of longitudes, we can calculate the time of any place. The latitude and longitudes intersect each other, forming a network of lines which is called grid. The point of intersection help us to locate any place. So this is the explanation of chapter latitude and longitude. I hope you like this video. If you like this, please like and share this video, and please subscribe my channel Bareilly Tuitions. Thank you. Have a nice day.